In one split second, a tiny little cat bite turned our evening plans into a race to the hospital. But there is more to this story. So the story is, we went to a cat cafe here in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and a cat cafe is one of those places where you can, well, there's a bunch of cats, and you can kind of play with them and pet them and generally interact with them and even feed them. Well, in this one you could feed them. So that's exactly what we did. It was me and my wife Masha, and well, I didn't really want to do it. I stayed back, but Masha went in. She was super excited. She went into the cat room and started kind of, interacting with all those cats and feeding them. And one of the cats that she fed was this tiny little kitten, and he was very happy, he was very eager, and he got so eager and greedy that he bit her, and he drew blood. Well, if you get bitten by an animal, and especially a wild animal, especially a stray animal, but even an animal that you're simply not sure about, you should definitely get rabies shots. Of course, when I mean animal that you're not sure about, I mean the vaccination status, and that's immediately what I asked the girls at the reception about. Well, they did have the records, but the problem is they had like one stamp for all the cats at the cafe. And that, I don't know, it didn't really seem convincing to me that there is one stamp for all of them. So we made a decision to go to the hospital and get rabies shots, which the girls at the reception were very understanding about. They even offered to pay for the shots, which was super sweet of them, but that's Thai people for you. They are like that. But why do you think we were so adamant about going to the hospital? Well, the reason is that rabies is a 100% fatal virus. If a person develops symptoms, then it is unfortunately too late. And it's a pretty horrible way to die as well. It does affect your central nervous system, so apart from the overall confusion, one of the symptoms is extreme hydrophobia. You get panic attacks while trying to handle water in any way, let alone trying to drink it, and then you die. So yes, if you get bitten by an animal that you're not sure about, go get the shots. There are a total of 5 shots that you need to get, and fortunately this virus is preventable. The vaccine is very effective, and the only thing that you're going to waste is your time and a bit of money. Speaking of time and money, it was like 7 p.m. at that time, and that meant that most of the hospitals in Chiang Mai were closed, save for the ones with emergency rooms. The closest one was the Ram Hospital. I think it's like one of the biggest hospitals in Chiang Mai, so that's where we went. We checked in, talked to the doctor just kind of asked us a bunch of questions, prescribed the vaccine, then you go to the pharmacy, get the actual vaccine, and pay for it, and then go to a different office to have the shot administered. And that's what we did. In Ram Hospital, we were given this little brochure, and it contained the dates that the vaccines needed to be administered, and after you actually get the shot, you get kind of filled in what you got. So all of that took, I don't know, maybe like 45 minutes total. Really wasn't that long. But then we got the bill, and it was a little pricey. All in all, it ended up being 2,000 baht, which is like 60 bucks, something like that, for one shot out of 5. That is not cheap. Maybe it's cheap by American standards, but we are in Thailand. And healthcare in Asia is much cheaper than most Western countries, especially the United States. But 60 bucks for a rabies shot, that's on the expensive side in Asia. We didn't really want to pay so much, even though the girls at the cat cafe offered to pay for everything, didn't want them to pay, So after the first shot, we decided to kind of look around and see if we can find a cheaper way to deal with the whole thing. Oh, and also, if you go, well, that's what we were told at least, if you go to a hospital in Thailand, if you go kind of after hours, it is more expensive. So it would be cheaper to go in the afternoon. Well, it would also be cheaper to go to a different hospital, and that's because, you know, Ram is a big one, and we decided to look for another one, maybe somewhere near where we live. Well, thankfully, we live right adjacent to the CMU campus, which is Chiang Mai University, and of course, there is a medical center on campus, and that's where we went. So it's like maybe 10 minutes walk from here, which is awesome.
A lot of paperwork. Like I go to the same hospital, do the same like
Procedure.
and every time I need to check my pressure, like blood pressure, check my height.
I don't know why they do that. Like every time you
They
go
weigh
in, they
me
check
every
your
time.
weight and height every single time. Like as if anything would change.
Yeah.
You know, as if anything would be different.
And you know, today I'm 1 centimeter taller than the last time.
You are?
Yeah, so.
Must have eaten something. But seriously?
Yeah.
Why? We did go in the afternoon, and the procedure was the same. First, they made us go to the doctor, you know, just kind of have a conversation with us, find out what happened, and then the doctor issued a prescription, and then you go to the pharmacy, pick up the prescription, and get the shot administered. But the vaccine was actually a different one. So, you know, we were a little anxious because, like, literally, you know, are they compatible? Is it okay? Are they interchangeable? You know, can you actually do that with different vaccines? Well, what do you think? Basically, if it's an inactivated virus vaccine, anything that ends with RAB, inactivated virus, rabies vaccines, even though they may be different, the method of production may be different, they are generally interchangeable, which is great. So yes, it was a different vaccine, and it was also much cheaper here. Here we paid like, I think it was like 400 baht. Anyway, this is how much it was for the first appointment, and yeah, it was like 100 baht for a doctor's appointment. I think it was the cheapest I've ever paid for a doctor's appointment in my life. Hey.
Hey?
So you got, how many shots did you get so far?
4.
4. So that's your 4th shot.
Yes.
Did it hurt?
No.
No? Do they hurt at all?
It depends. Sometimes you can feel it like when you move your arm.
Right.
You can feel some like uncomfortable.
Like ache?
Kinda.
Or like more just discomfort?
Just discomfort. It's
Okay.
like if you, I don't know, trained a lot, you know, and your muscle is tired.
Alright. So I guess it's not that bad, huh? Okay. You would think we would just go to the same hospital, you know, and get all our 5 shots here. However, we were leaving in less than a month to the Philippines. We had actually booked the entire trip by this time, like all the tickets, all the Airbnbs, all the hotels were already booked and paid for. And we really didn't want to lose money on this one because this was a big trip. We were going to be gone for like 23 days. So our last shot, well, Masha's last shot was supposed to be in the Philippines. Well, while Thailand is a pretty well-developed country, the Philippines I wasn't so sure about. I had never been to the country before. So we started Googling, started researching. Fortunately, it was fairly easy to find, hospitals. We were going to be on the island of Bohol, which is a short ferry ride from Cebu. And we got in touch. Well, the hospital that had the vaccine was the Ramiro Hospital. And that's, fast forward to that time, that's where we ended up going. The Philippines are actually really easy to get around. Well, what we did is we just rented cars everywhere. And by the way, check out my video about how to get around the Philippines. It's a pretty difficult country to navigate generally because it's an island country, so no surprise there. But it is possible to streamline kind of, getting around. So we got our rental and drove to the hospital. It's in the town of Tagbilaran. I have no idea how to pronounce it actually, I'm sorry, but this is what the town is called, Tagbilaran. If anybody knows how to actually pronounce it, please please do share. Anyway, we went to this hospital called Ramiro Hospital again, and we checked in, and yes, the hospital was not as advanced as the hospitals in Thailand, but we were treated very well. The doctors are very friendly and professional, and the procedure was actually the same. You check in, you go to the doctor talks to you, prescribes you the vaccine, and you go get it, and that's it. So here in Bohol, Masha's brochure finally got filled in completely, and you know, that was it. By the way, we had absolutely no insurance, which is not a good idea. Do get insurance when you're traveling, or if you're an expat. Definitely always can be a lifesaver, literally. Well, at least budget saver. But even without any insurance, this was not that pricey, like, you know, except for the first visit. In the Philippines, it cost us this much, and all in all, the total cost was this much. And yes, the girls did pay for it, and as a gesture of appreciation, I mean, it is a cat cafe, I got them this little thing. Hold on. So I got them this little thing. It's kind of a good luck cat, you know, one of those cats they put in stores to kind of bring wealth and good luck. So I don't know if they remember me, but I do want to give this little cat to them. Anyway, so going back to the whole topic, in Asia it is fairly simple to find a good, you know, health center or a hospital nearby, and healthcare is readily available most of the time, especially if you're in a somewhat, you know, large town or city. But even in rural areas, generally in most places in Southeast Asia, you'll be okay. Thailand and Vietnam for sure. Laos, Cambodia, I'm not as sure about, but the Philippines, yes, most of the time there will be decent hospitals available. But the best experience we've had in Southeast Asia was Malaysia. I do have a whole entire video dedicated to that. Check it out. This was our experience doing a full medical checkup in Georgetown, Malaysia, and this was awesome. It's definitely worth checking out. So click on the link right here. But the final thought is, I know I said this before, I'm gonna reiterate, if you get bitten by an animal that you're not sure about one way or another, even if it's your neighbor's dog, but you know, there's no vaccination records, if the chances that you might get rabies are above 0, even if it's like 0.01, go get the rabies shots. It's better to, you know, err on the safe side here, because the alternative is pretty horrible. Anyway, if you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to this channel for a lot more on living abroad, wherever abroad may be for you. So thank you very much for watching, and stay nomad.